Today we're going to be showcasing the South Freeze roll in a hard mode top team setting when you're cross freezing, stacking, and skipping. So we're going to open up with the T-bow on accurate, then a Rallo spec followed by another T-bow on accurate, and then the rest of the way your T-bow is going to be on rapid. This is just a timing thing for the defense specs, the defense reduction, as well as getting a proper timing for the crab spawns. So one more T-bow hit here, and I'm going to catch North 1 first. I am the South Freeze roll, but cross freezing, I'm catching North 1, then South 2. This puts the North 1 crab in a better position for the melees to Din's Bulwark spec, and the S2 crab you can freeze immediately in the clump. So 50s, same thing. I actually messed up there by instantly freezing North 1, but that's just a minor mistake, but not the end of the world. After that, we clean up South 1. The Ranger does a little helping as well. And then right here, this is actually a mistake by me. I should be on the boss, on Maiden once again, but I tried to kick a crab, then I froze the crabs. I don't know what I was doing here, but yeah, really, I should be straight back on the Maiden. The Ranger will clean up that clump. For 30s, we kind of just do things normally here, S1, S2. And then we're actually going to catch 4s though. I think in We Do raids, this is something they don't do. I don't know, I'm not too sure. But I catch 1, 2, and 4. And that enables me and the North Freezer to be on the boss around the same time here. So quicker back on the boss. This is particularly good if you both have ZCBs. Okay, so here is another example. I'm sure I'm going to make other mistakes here and maybe do some other things correctly here. So good to show a different example. The opening is the exact same though. Accurate T-bow, Rallo spec, accurate T-bow. And then we just T-bow hit until we're ready for crabs. So delay 1 tick there, perfect. And then without any waiting, just off a weapon cooldown, we can freeze South 2 straight into the clump. And from between 70s to 50s after freezing, you can sneak in 1 or 2 T-bow hits depending on how fast the team is, how much damage they're doing. But after 50s, you want to go straight to South 1. And more than likely, the 70s South 1 crab is already going to be moving towards Maiden. You want to try clean that one up first, and then the other one. Once you full kill both South 1 crabs, you're back on the boss. Now, the previous example, I was doing some weird things. I don't know what's going on there. But this time around, we're straight back on the boss. Then we actually have scuffed crabs here on 30s, but not a big deal for us. We're not worried about having to freeze them in the clump or anything. So South 1, South 2, and then 4s, and then on to the boss. Okay, here's one more example run for good measure. Accurate T-bow, Rallo spec, into another accurate T-bow, and rapid the rest of the way. So again, we delay 1 tick on North 1, and then we can instantly freeze South 2 as soon as we can off a weapon cooldown. A couple of T-bow hits here. I actually only shot 1, and then I swapped early, but yeah, that's where I missed out on a little bit of damage. So here I actually mess up, because I instantly froze North 1, and then I didn't wait a tick to freeze South 2. There you can see a 1% South 2 crab just outside the clump. That is no good. If you find yourself in a situation where you instantly freeze North 1 by mistake, you do have to wait an extra tick before freezing South 2. However, if you wait the tick right in the beginning before North 1 freezing, then you don't have to wait. You just have to be conscious of that if you make a mistake and know how to fix it. If you're late by 2 ticks, you can just instantly freeze both crabs. I think, however, if you're any later than that, you're definitely going to leak a crab. Again, on 30s here, as I mentioned before, 1, 2, and then 4s, and back on the boss. And there we have it. South freeze in Maiden when the team is cross-freezing, stacking, and skipping. Now, the rest of this video, I am going to showcase the Nylo room, a couple examples there. But it's really nothing too crazy. Here we go, the Nylo room. Okay, I'm actually using some old footage here, full disclosure, and I'm actually on the North Freeze roll, hence why I have the Virtus robe top on, and my oath plate is still regular oath plate rather than radiant. So it's old footage, But when it comes to the mage roll execution in 5s, it's the same whether you're a South Freeze or North Freeze, and this is something you just have to get familiar with your fellow mage duo partner here. So in the early waves, you can just pre-fire everything down the lanes. Like the first 10 waves really, and obviously on wave 10 you're going to get the demi-boss, which you're going to scythe Chally. The one exception is if you're the ranger, but we're talking about South Freeze and North Freeze here, not the ranger. So scythe Chally that, and immediately after that you're going to have to freeze the double waves, wave 11. What I typically do is the 2 doubles, and then the South Freeze usually catches the other. In this particular instance, I got to be careful what I say here because, again, this is just something you coordinate with your teammate and nothing too specific to your role here. Like, you're a major. You're not a South Freeze or North Freeze here. You're just a major. Personally, what I like to do is I like to camp this lane I'm at right here and catch everything as they are coming down the lane. I feel like there can't be too much I can explain here. You know, either I go into incredible detail, which, to be honest, I don't think I could. I just know the rotations roughly. But 20s, you scythe and Chally, the demi-boss, like 10s. And then immediately afterwards, on the other side, there's actually a mage double. It does flicker, so you do have to be quick on that. You can catch that if you want. I guess that's like the most important thing, right? Know your aggros and know the doubles when to catch them. Again, I like to camp on this side, so I actually swap in the full melee here to scythe that. 25 is a major, 26 is going to be a major, 27 is going to be a major, and then 28, 29 are going to have aggros, which will also flicker, so you do have to watch out for that. And obviously 30 big is also a aggro. When you're with an experienced team and the room is going quite well, you can afford to scythe Chally, this 30s demi-boss. Typically, you want to just protect against it and ignore it. But you can see a couple of my teammates there did try to do some damage on it. I guess in this instance, I was more focused on getting the aggros out the way. But again, that's just something to think about. If you have an experienced team, you can go for the 30s demi-boss as well. But yeah, just knowing the flickers, the aggros, the wave rotation just comes with experience in doing the role. This is why Top is so in depth. It has a lot of depth to it because there's 4 or 5 different roles, right? And especially in Nylo room, there's just a lot to work with here.